Hello friends and welcome back to Picture Astrology. In this quick snap video, we will talk about placement of Saturn in the sign of Leo when the ascendant is Leo itself. Meaning we will have a horoscope in which the first house will have Leo sign, that is the Leo rising. And Saturn will be placed in the first house itself. So this video is also about effects of Saturn in the first house for Leo Ascendant horoscope. So when we have the Leo Ascendant horoscope, which means the fifth sign is in the first house, Saturn becomes lord of the sixth and seventh house respectively, because sixth house contains the sign of Capricorn and seventh the sign of Aquarius, both of which are ruled by Saturn. So the sixth house and seventh house will definitely be impacted by this position of Saturn here. So will be the all important first house, because Saturn is placed here, and ascendant or the first house is one of the most important reference point in any horoscope interpretation. In anything, any aspect, any effect on the first house is generally felt throughout the lifespan of a person. Therefore, the key to understanding a particular horoscope lies very much in truly knowing the ascendant, and therefore this position of Saturn becomes very critical. Now, apart from these three houses, Saturn also has some special aspects in Vedic astrology. So Saturn will aspect third house from itself, which will be third house in this case, seventh from itself, which we already have seen, and 10th house from the first house. So 6, 7, 1, 3, 10. All these houses will be directly affected by the position of Saturn, and these houses covers a lot many areas of your life. So a really minute study of this position can reveal a lot of details regarding a person's life. However, since it's a quick snap video, we will primarily focus on some of the top effects of this position. Now, another very important thing to consider in analysis of Saturn's position for any Leo Ascendant horoscope is that Saturn is lord of 6th and 7th houses. Especially the malefic 6th house lordship makes the Saturn a functional malefic. So functionally Saturn is not well disposed towards Leo rising sign, and Leo, the lord of Leo, is Sun, and Sun and Saturn also don't go along well. There is a natural enmity between these two planets. So generally in traditional astrology it is said that Saturn is a malefic planet when it comes to Leo Ascendant horoscope. But being a malefic planet, malefic planet, as the name suggests, can give some trouble in life. However, there is a very big and important aspect of malefic planet is that it gives a lot of desirable qualities, because benefic planets are usually soft. Malefic, especially the Saturn like malefic planet, can give a lot of perseverance. It can give a lot of untiring hard-working ability. It can give the stamina to keep going against all odds. Even if you are in trouble, you keep going. And these are some of the qualities which only a malefic planet can give. Either a functional malefic or a naturally malefic planet. Now in this case, Saturn is both. Saturn is functionally malefic because it is lord of 6th house, as well as it is naturally a malefic planet. However, many of these great qualities are possible because of this one placement of Saturn. So we saw that Saturn in the first house, especially first house being the house of a person's physical and mental self, first house shows your personality, it shows who you are, can really make a person very, very hardworking and a lot of stubbornness, meaning they would never give up, they would never leave their ideas or thoughts. And especially since it is lord of 6th house shows, among many other things, service. you know. Therefore this Saturn here gives a personality. See, Leo is a very royal sign. Leo is known to be the sign of kings. However, even if a person is king, when there is this placement of Saturn here, which is also the lord of 6th house, makes the king also very hands-on, meaning, you know, he is not just going to give orders to people. He will be involved in every minute details. In the smallest of the work, the person will be personally involved because they have a sheer love of hard work. Now, another important thing to understand is Saturn is lord of 6th house, which shows obstacles in your life. And since Saturn is in the 1st house, which shows your life in general, therefore you will, or people with this kind of placement, they always face some or the other opposition before attaining success. And the good thing is, the ascendant of Leo, which is lorded by Sun, anyways loves challenges. You know, there is a great love for challenges and overcoming those challenges. So when there is a very strong Sun placed, Sun, because Sun is the lord of the 1st house, which shows yourself. So if Sun is really well placed, this kind of Saturn gives a horoscope, you know, of people who rise like a phoenix in their life. Even if they are defeated, they will rise back again. So overcoming obstacles and challenges is also a common theme which happens in these people's life. Now let's talk about the all-important 7th house and the aspect of marriage, because 7th is the lord of this 7th house being the Aquarius sign. So what does this mean for marriage? Well, a lot of things. First of all, there would be a palpable delay in the formal marriage because Saturn is the slowest planet and has a direct aspect on the 7th house. Now, if there are other aspects like presence of Mercury or Moon, you know, fast moving planets, then that's a different story. We are here currently talking about only this Saturn. This Saturn is always known to give a delayed marriage. However, the spouse always have many desirable qualities. You know, the partner you get is generally highly desirable because Saturn is lord of the 7th house itself. Its aspect on the 7th, especially being the Mool Trikon sign of Saturn, and Saturn plays in a royal sign of Leo in the 1st house, definitely gives a partner or a spouse or a husband or a wife with many desirable qualities. And the aspect of Saturn here again is known to give a stable marriage, a long-lasting marriage. However, this marriage also, like most of the marriages in the world, will have some challenges. Why? Because Saturn is simultaneously the lord of 6th house as well. So there will be effects of both. However, the good thing is 11th house or 11th sign is the Mool Trikon sign, and therefore the lordship of that house generally overshadows the lordship of this negative house. So there will be some differences of opinion between the partners, husband and wife, for sure, but there is enough good and balancing factors available because Saturn is lord of the 7th. Now there are some clear differences which could happen, is which has been generally observed is, one, it is possible that there may be, you know, a big age difference between the husband and wife. There is a possibility of even their heights being, you know, comparatively different, one being very tall, another being not so tall. There are even possibilities of, you know, things like one partner from a very rich background but the other from a modest background. So these kind of differences some very palpable, very visible differences between the partners is generally caused by this Saturn. However, it is fine. As I said, it doesn't negate the fact that the partners will have many desirable qualities, and it is good for stability as well, although obviously with certain challenges. Now let's talk about one of the other most important aspect of this Saturn, that is on the 10th house of work. In fact, the significance of this Saturn vis-a-vis work life of a person is tremendous. There needs to be a separate discussion altogether to understand the work life related effects of this Saturn, that is because Saturn is known as the karma karaka, or the primary significator of your job. Plus it has aspect on the 10th house, which is actually the house of all your external activities, your profession, and it is Lord and has an aspect on the 7th house. 7th house being 10th from 10th has a special significance when it comes to the kind of position you occupy in your profession. And if that was not enough, it is also the Lord of 6th house, which shows the kind of services you render to the world apart from other things. So, just a couple of quick observations really. Now, with this Saturn, we already saw that the person, becomes very hardworking and stubborn at times. If say Mars is well placed, Mars is in Kendra or in cardinal houses from this Saturn, especially the 4th house, which is the house of Mars's own sign, then it shows good gains from machineries. People with this placement can earn good professional success from industries or any kind of machinery related work. Another thing, that being Lord of the 7th house, partnership business can be very fruitful for these guys. However, partnerships are not always going to be successful because Saturn is Lord of the 6th house as well. So some partnerships are going to be very well, some other partnerships are not going to go very well. And one important thing which you should be careful about is if there is any affliction on this Saturn, any negative effect, then this Saturn can increase your debts, because Saturn is Lord of 6th house, which among other things shows your debts. So if Saturn is having any negative influence, then try to avoid taking debts for starting a new business venture. That advice is very important for this kind of placement. Now, since Saturn is again Lord of 6th house, which shows the kind of diseases your body could be prone of or prone to, in this case Saturn also being in the sign of Sun Leo shows a special care needed towards heart. Increase of cholesterol, blood pressure is common thing which can happen because of this Saturn. And as I said in the beginning, there are so many other umpteen number of things which can be analyzed based on this one placement of Saturn in your horoscope. However, I am going to stop here for this video. I sincerely hope you would have gotten some more insights into this placement of Saturn in the 1st house in Leo sign, and these few minutes would be well spent of your life. I am very thankful to you for being with me throughout. Please do hit like and subscribe button to continue to get more updates in future. I thank you again for watching and hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.